controversial curriculum that you need to be on the lookout for. Something to that effect. And then they came out and said, well, it's really confusing. It looks like you're the district hosting this. Geez. And I'm like, really? The district is going to tell you about controversial curriculum? Like, there was no confusion. Yeah. They were angry, and it was an intimidation tactic of don't talk about this. So we're going to send you a cease and desist letter.
Well, it's because, this is the thing. No one challenges the schools. We have assumed, I used to always assume when my girls were young, that they had the best interest of the kids. Like, you just assumed it. So they're so used to doing whatever they want, and no one ever, drop off, pick up, and never question. Yeah. So this is a whole new world for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we went to this August 24th board meeting. We were not allowed to come inside because they had just reinstituted masks. People were upset about it. They have this August 24th board meeting, and I get there at 4:00 and park, and the meeting's at 6:00. I arrive at 4:00. So does a motorcycle. Parks right in front of me. And I'm like, well, I only have one person in my life that has shown to stalk me and be obsessed with me. And there he is. I'm like, there's no doubt about it. That is Jan Michael's dad.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's August 24th. It's 105 degrees. He's wearing a motorcycle helmet on his head, a leather jacket, full
chaps.
Yeah. I mean, this guy was
ew. I've seen Jan. I don't want to see his dad.
No.
super cool guy. Could probably use a Peloton bag, but
just saying.
So he, my friends and I ended up moving. We moved to a different part, and the school board meetings, is getting ready to start, and he is sitting on his motorcycle with a telephoto lens, photographing us. And I go to the SRO officers, the student resource officers, and the police that are on site, and say, "Can you go check this out? Like, this guy's over here clearly in a disguise. It's 105 degrees. He's taking photos of us, and he's got his license plate hidden. Like, what happened to see something, say something? Like, that looks out of place.
Yeah,
like,
that's
go
alarming.
find out what he's doing." And they're like, "Well, it's public space. No big deal."
Oh,
Another couple of parents drew attention to it. And
is it safe to assume that these are mostly women, by the way, when you say parents? So
yes,
you've got a creepy dude taking pictures of women, and no one...
Women and children.
Yeah, no one thinks to call the cops?
No, he doesn't. He's cowardly enough that he won't attack dads. He comes after the moms because he's, it takes a big man.
There were a lot of dads at that meeting I was at, just letting you know. There were a lot.
Yeah, he likes to bully the moms.
Of course.
So we leave that. We go in, make a public comment. I am mad because I'm sitting outside. They're telling us it's not safe for you to come inside to this meeting. So
you're going to have heat stroke.
So we get stuck outside. It's not safe. Meanwhile, we're sitting ducks being photographed by his dad. So you don't think that was coordinated? I mean, come on. I wasn't born yesterday. So I go in. They had said it wasn't safe to have people in the meeting because someone had dropped comic books, white power comic books, on a campus. It had been thought that it was an employee. Then they found out that it was somebody in Chandler. It wasn't even in our school district. But they had caught that person, but then still kept the meeting closed. So I went in. I was mad and made my public comment. They had reinstituted masks, and Jan Michael had said that 70% of parents wanted masks, which was false because nobody ever asked us. And when masks were optional, only 10% wore them on our campus. And so after I made my public comment and walked away, he said on a hot mic, he said, "Jesus blank Christ, these people." And that was the second time he had said JFC.
I forgot about that.
He had said it to another mom after he had been disrespectful during a moment of silence for suicide victims. He was huffing and puffing and we don't need this type of volunteer. You are not helping. You are a disgrace to our community. This is Scottsdale.
Well, he's not joining arms with the parents. These are their children. He's not, this is a group activity, you would think. We're all in this together, and these are your kids, and we care.
He's an authoritarian. He thinks that he is, this is the narcissism and the arrogance that this person in this family possesses. So prior to that meeting, a couple weeks before, after the boot camp, he had sent an email to one of the moms that hosted this boot camp with me, and unsolicited sends her an email and says, you better stop talking about me in the press, and just was really aggressive, and then got another mom involved and said she was telling people that he was anti-Christian, just a bunch of lies. This other mom calls him out on it, and it's a matter of public record, and she wants the record corrected that he is lying in an email. So in an effort to prove that she is supposedly a racist, he takes a screenshot of his desktop. So he's got his little MacBook, takes a screenshot of his desktop. He probably hit F3 instead of F4, whatever it is.
You've heard this, yeah.
And then emails it to her. So when she gets that screenshot, she's like, wow, that has a whole Google Drive dedicated to the CAN network. And at the top, you can see his browser, and it's got his SUSD email open. He's got this screenshot of somebody else's comment that she didn't even make. And he's saying, because somebody else made this comment, you're a racist. Makes no sense.
You liked it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Maybe accidentally.
I mean, this guy has
zero common sense.
Yeah, zero common sense. Yeah. And everything. If you don't like what he does on the school board, you're anti-Semitic. Right. You're a racist. You're a homophobe. You're transphobic. It's all the things. So when they don't have, they just call names. Mm-hmm. We've become numb to it at this point. It's like so ridiculous.
The war of words.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How can I make you go away with the war, making you sound bad?
How can I embarrass you and shame you and make you so ill that you shut up?
I had a hashtag last year that was just shamed into silence, because that's what they would do. They would just say awful things about you until you wouldn't go to a meeting and just leave them alone. Mm. So weeks go by. No, we're all alarmed that he's got this Google Drive, but we don't really pay attention to it. And then we realized that's actually just a URL. And so, but we didn't think that he would have it open to the public. So
this is awesome. This is how stupid this guy is. This is so awesome.
I mean, I feel like he needs to be on the Dumb Criminal Show.
This is how, actually, you know what? This is how good God is. Yeah. This is how good God is, that he reveals things, right?
Well, we looked at it as like Christmas came early. So somebody typed in the URL, and you had to, like, it was like google.drive. Whatever. Typed it all in. It was a URL. It was akin to sending somebody an Amazon.com/shopping, whatever. If you type it in, he didn't have it password protected. It was available to anyone with a link.
Oh, my God.
Well, it wasn't a hyperlink, but we had a link. And so here comes Pandora's box.
Oh, my gosh.
And I open it up, and I see photos of my Airbnb cabin in Prescott. I see photos of my 8-year-old, of my 10-year-old. Saw photos of my friend's child, and it was named her name's kid. And I'm like, why would a 27-year-old boy need photos? Like, I don't have photos of my friend's children saved on my phone unless I'm the one taking it. But he took these photos. He took, in the dates that he uploaded these photos or these property records, he had my property deeds for both of my houses, my HELOC documents. And this was all uploaded in January after he had sent me that body shaming message. Yeah. And I thought, I was disgusted.
Wow.
Not only because he had photos of my children, like, what is he doing with photos of my kids?
Did you just have like a pit in your stomach?
Yes.
Because I would feel really threatened.
Right.
Yeah.
I was actually, one of the person who was taking care of my Airbnb property had passed away suddenly. A couple days after she had the vaccine, but she passed away suddenly.
Next episode.
That's the next episode.
Jeez.
So I had gone to Prescott to take care of some business, and I was in my home. I was there by myself. My kids were at home with my husband, and I get this link, and all of a sudden, like the windows in my house, I just felt like somebody was looking at me. I had this fear. Now, it was probably irrational because I was
not, though.
But it's like somebody, like the amount of time.
Someone
irrational.
Has dug into
I would be
your life.
worried for my safety as well, because when somebody is, in essence, targeting you.
Yeah.
Well, and
what are they doing with these pictures? Are they giving them to somebody to do something to you?
Like, is he going to go hire a tweaker to take my kid after school? They don't ride the bus anymore. If they stopped riding the bus. But I was standing in my home that he has the address for.
Yeah. By yourself.
I felt like I was by myself. I felt like somebody was watching me, and I was physically ill.
I would
like,
too.
what is he doing looking at my kids? Why would you save photos of my kids? Like, what for? It has nothing to do with what you're doing on the school board. And I drove home that night. I was so disturbed. I didn't sleep.
Did you call every other mom?
I called. I called a couple of them, and like one of them like stayed on the phone with me as I drove home, and we're like, she was disgusted. We were all disgusted. I'm like, what do we do? So after we had seen the Google Drive to begin with, one of our parents had taken it to the police, and they said, can't do anything. It's like it's like a domestic, like a stalker. Like, they can't do anything until they do something.
Right.
So now we had access to all of this. I'm like, what?
Was it
do we
just
do?
you, by the way, or is there other moms?
So you can't press like stalking charges there when someone's taking photos of you?
We don't know that for sure. SPD has said there was no criminal conduct, but there are civil things, and I don't know that SPD did a thorough investigation that needs to be.
What did your husband do?
I was like, oh goodness, like, don't let me in the room with this guy, and like keep me away from this guy, because it's disgusting. So we tried to figure out what to do. And then we saw these body cam photos or videos be uploaded where he's talking about stalking us, talking about concealing his identity. And at that point, we thought we have to go. We consulted attorneys to say, like, what do we do here? What can we do? Multiple attorneys. And they told us to take it to the media and have somebody investigate it and get it out there and make sure that the public knows that this is the type of person that's serving on our board. So there's some people in our community that have now told us that we're actually felons, or think that we're felons, and they're just trying to deflect the wrongdoing.
Is anything getting better? Is anything getting better?
Not yet.
Okay, so we've got to get information on how to get him off the board, get things right.
And I know that there have been rallies, and I know that gubernatorial candidate. Thank you. Carrie Lake has been out there to raise
Charlie Kirk,
Erica,
Freedom Square. So all right, we'll get you guys some resources. Amanda, thank you so much for being strong.
Guys, show up at your school board, get involved. You have to look what's happening. They're
coming for the kids.
Yeah, bullies.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
It's Dylan's KC Barbecue at 4 Valley locations. Our sports bar in Arrowhead is packed with TVs for the ultimate sports fan. Our Wildlife World Zoo location will have you on the edge of your seat, dining right next to our 60,000-gallon shark tank. Dylan's Bayou at Pleasant Harbor has never-ending sunsets, beautiful people, and live music every weekend. And our newest location, Western Trails Ranch, is 12 acres of rodeo fun and live outdoor concerts for the entire family. It's Dylan's KC Barbecue, where we're elite, unique, and memorable.